Good Sunday morning inside Tennessee here, where we solve the state's problems even when the legislature can't. I'm just kidding. All right, you noticed he sat here fairly quietly and well behaved and let Susan mostly talk. All right, it's your turn.
Well, the only thing I agree on that Susan said is on Monday they probably adjourn without doing anything, and I think that's probably right. The effort that the House has put forward on its face looks like, oh, we're really trying to work. Virtually everything they're doing, virtually everything they're doing has no meaningful effect on stopping mass shootings and regulating ultra dangerous, let's call them that, ultra dangerous firearms that probably should not be in the hands of the ordinary citizen, or if they are, they have to go through additional training, checks, licensing procedures, higher safety type elements that they have to learn these weapons. And again, it's just, and the Senate is just an embarrassment.
Well, but Randy McNally says, well, we did what we thought the governor wanted us to do.
Which I thought was really strange.
He did 4 things and not a thing really the governor wanted him to do.
And
I think Randy just wanted to get home for his nap.
There were 18, as we've talked about.
He could sleep in the car.
18 calls, right, that the governor did put out. And it'll be really interesting to see at the end of the day whether any of the 18 that the governor asked for have passed.
Hey, I let you talk in the last block.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, no, but I mean, again, this is, first of all, the governor, this was a joke when the governor put his 18 points up. I felt like there wasn't a single thing on that list.
A joke in the sense that you knew nothing was going to happen.
Nothing was going to happen, and the 18 things virtually did nothing to help. 2, we're still on this rhetoric that this is all about mental health. We absolutely need more mental health services in the state of Tennessee. But is that going to cure the mass shooter and the gun problem we have? Absolutely not. It might deal with a single digit decimal point worth of these problems. Yeah. These are evil and bad people that do this, not necessarily mentally ill. It's just an embarrassment. We are not doing anything. This, again, we're talking about the color, the paint on the walls, and the drapes. We're not building a foundation in a house.
But y'all sort of figured this was what was going to happen.
Yeah,
right? There was no true consensus coming into this.
How long have we've had legislators on our show in the past few weeks?
Sure.
And they all said no red flag laws are going to pass, no orders of protection. Those are not going to pass. So we didn't expect that. But I do think, again, I'll go back to the House and what they're doing. There are some things in here from a mostly mental health standpoint that could make a difference. They're giving money to higher ed to have education on safety programs. They're doing some money, loan forgiveness to people who study psychiatry and psychology, which I find really interesting from Republicans that they're willing to do that. And again, this is the House. It's the House, and in order for them to pass totally, they got to go to the Senate.
The Senate said they're done.
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to be a very short session on Monday, and we'll go home with nothing, but certainly nothing that makes our state any safer.
This may be a dumb question, but is it at all possible that while we've been opining here and displaying our knowledge or lack thereof, that people like McNally and Sexton have been saying, all right, dude, how do you want to resolve this?
Sure, I think it is. Now, whether they get there or not remains to be seen, and I'm not sure they do. The Senate right now, when they left on Friday, I suppose, said we're not going to reopen committees, meaning that's how stuff gets to the floor. So I'm sure they're talking this weekend. To what avail? I'm not confident to much.
So you think there's some grand conspiracy here that this is how they're going to just play the cards here? Okay, Senate, you take the heat, and we'll do this. We'll, I don't
think they're that smart. Yeah,
I don't believe that. I have spoken to the Speaker, and I feel like they really were committed to try to get some of these bills passed. But again,
some are substantive, like you say.
Yeah, they are. But again, if the Senate disappears on you, you're not going to get any.
Well, how about we put the serious things up, like extended magazines and high-power weapons and things, put it up and just see how everybody votes.
Yeah. Well,
so the public can say, hey,
the polling has shown in Tennessee overwhelmingly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That they would like to see gun control, some gun control.
And we've also had state and national health reports that say that gun deaths are the leading cause.
Number one death of children, cause of death of children.
Over car accidents and cancer.
Which is really shocking to me.
Not to me.
Well, you're in that business, but it's shocking to the rest of us.
So
I think.
it sort of looks like you've got the political body, which is not motivated whatsoever, and there's a serious disconnect with the people out there that we keep hearing saying
Well,
you should
yes.
do
The
something.
political body is motivated, and it's motivated by money, and the money that comes in from the gun lobby and the gun industry.
Excellent discussion. All right, it's time for another break. You're watching Inside Tennessee. We've got one more coming.